we are always having more items come in our home, right? That's another
Right.
big one. You're always getting marketing, buy this, buy this. Change of season, we need new clothes. Change of, food's running out, we need more food. So there's this constant flow of things coming into your home. So if you don't have a proper system in place, of course you're going to go back to old habits and
Sure.
it's going to get cluttered again.
Sure.
Welcome to Reframe and Reclaim. We are Courtney Huckabee, a psychotherapist,
and Jen Harris, an interior designer
who have teamed up to reflect,
challenge,
and reframe your mindset in relationship with your personal belongings. Find the reframe.
Start your reclaim.
Hi, welcome back to Reframe and Reclaim. I'm Courtney Huckabee.
And I'm Jen Harris.
And the hardest part of decluttering is not getting rid of the items in your home. It's keeping the items from coming into your home and cluttering more.
So coming back and recluttering the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so getting organized isn't actually the hardest part. That is just the first part. Keeping your home organized is the really challenging piece. And this is the M in our reclaim acronym that we talk about so much.
It's the
So
longest step to maintain.
it's because it
Yes,
never
and the hardest,
ends.
yeah.
And it's not to be daunting, but it is a choice on how to continue the organizing that you've already
Yes.
begun.
Yes.
So the good news, most professional organizers like Jen Harris agree that it isn't about having more storage. We all say if I had more shelves or more cabinets or more closets, it's actually about having better habits.
100%. You can have beautiful bins. If you don't use them, they're useless,
Well, so my question for you, Jen, like you have done a lot of organizing with our Reframe and Reclaim clients. You've done a lot of organizing in, past interior design
My life,
jobs,
yep.
in your own personal life.
All the things.
Like, talk to me about some of the habits that you have put into place and like maybe some of the places where people said, if I just had this, my house would be perfect.
And we're going to get into the habits in just a little bit, but I do want to, you brought up a good point about people saying, like, if I just had this one item, it would make everything better, right? So people say, well, if I just came in and if I had a professional organizer just come in and do this for me, then it'll all be done and I'll be ready to go. So if I can just have someone else do it, then it'll stay that way. And I think that goes with kind of our American society mentality of like, set it and forget it and just take a pill to fix it, right? And so someone wants someone to come in and make the decisions, do it all. But the problem is if the client isn't involved in that decision making, if they can't communicate what systems they need, because my brain functions different than a lot of other people's. It's different from my husband's, right? It's different from clients. And so we need to build systems that work with how they live every day. So, if they, when they come in the door, if they take their shoes off, we need to make sure there's a spot for their shoes to go. Whereas if in someone's home, they wear their shoes in their home, it's going to be a different system. So something as simple as that, right? And so I think not being involved in the process and wanting someone to do it for them, I think it's also trying to make the space look aesthetically pleasing and buy the bins and make it look a certain way before you've really thought about how it functions and how you need it to work. And so I think those are probably the two biggest things that cause people to not create those good habits. And then on top of that, we are always having more items come in our home, right? That's another big one. You're always getting marketing, buy this, buy this. Change of season, we need new clothes. Change of, food's running out, we need more food. So there's this constant flow of things coming into your home. So if you don't have a proper system in place, of course you're going to go back to old habits and it's going to get cluttered again.
And I love how you mentioned like a lot of people want someone else to come in and fix the situation. And we see this on all of the shows on TV about people coming in and like rehabbing a house or reorganizing a home. And I think it's really wonderful that the organizers have this skill set. I think what's so different about Reframe and Reclaim is we're actually asking the individual to think about their space and we're asking the individual to evaluate their space and their items we're asking the individual what they need for their home and how they need their home to function. And they are part of the decision process all the way throughout.
Hmm.
And they're a part of seeing how we're doing the decluttering, but they make the decisions. And I think then they decide what system they need
Yes,
afterwards.
because what's important to them is not going to be necessarily be important to me. So
Right.
they need to be able to communicate what's important and how the space
And
functions
we have a
in
lot
the
of really
system.
great, like in our book, if you're doing this on your own and you
Hmm.
don't have Jen as a professional organizer,
But you could.
you can. We do have those services. If you don't have Jen with you or another professional with you, then you can go through these reflective questions. But I love the fact that we're talking about habits because
Yes,
this really is a life skill and not
100%.
and we are
Yes.
not taught this by our educational system or sometimes by our parents because they don't have the skill or they just need to do it, get it done quick.
Hmm.
So I think it's really important that if you're an adult now, you can start these skills, and if you have children, you can help them to learn these skills too.
Yes, 100%, because it's going to be a constant in our lives. And the thing is, too, again, with this whole set it and forget it, people also don't realize that lifestyles change and habits change. If someone's training for a marathon, they're going to eat differently or have a different schedule and need different things readily available than someone who's not. If someone is caring for a small infant, you're going to have your system set up differently than children who are more self-sufficient and can do their own things in the
Yes.
kitchen.
Yes.
And that's just going to change. It's just life. But that's the beauty of it too, right? Is things can always be flexible and change to what you need it to be.
And I think the idea of making a system for you
Yes.
and your individual unique needs is something that is sometimes we don't assess. We just say, well, I've always lived this way, or,
Hmm.
so and so does it this way. So I'm supposed to do it that way. And this is really getting you to evaluate what your home needs are and how to help your home function better.
Yes, because I mean, I'm a love the home edit. I love a good rainbow. That doesn't work for everybody, right? And so if that system doesn't work for you, don't do it, and that's fine,
I don't have enough color in my home to make a rainbow, but it's beautiful. It is aesthetic and it is very satisfying to see what they do. But for me, it doesn't work.
Yes,
I have
and that's
more
okay.
neutrals. Yeah. And I don't have all of the clothes to make it beautiful.
So, going in and making systems that aren't for, client specific, I think is one big hang up. And then also, more things coming into your home, as well as not having a system at all, right? Just magically thinking it's going to work if I just put it in this space. Like if it's a pantry, if it's not organized in any certain way, now I'm just putting items in and there's,
Pasta's next to pancake
yes.
mix and salt is next to salsa
Right.
and
And while that can work, is it going to cost you more time digging for items? Yes. And so is your time more valuable to be able to have an organized system where you can quickly grab things, more
that works
valuable
for
to
you.
you or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing is delaying decisions. So it's like, I can't do this now. I'm too busy. I'll think about it later.
And
You
then more things
and then more
pile
things pile
up.
up and then you're overwhelmed because there's so many decisions that then need to be made.
And more things need to be considered.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't have a designated home for things. So then you have this just random miscellaneous stuff that lives on a counter
And
because
gets
it
lost
and gets lost
and
because it doesn't have a
forgotten.
home, right? And then also, we're just so busy. Again, if you put it down and don't put it away, it's just going to accumulate
we don't
because we'll get
set
to
it.
it one day.
We don't set it and forget it.
That's right.
You find a home
You
for
find a
it.
home for it.
Where is its home?
Yes.
Well, and I think you talk about this like, let's set it down. It's easy. I come in, drop all my
Hmm.
stuff on the counter or in the laundry room, and then like, where is that?
Yes.
Everything's now on the counter. Everything's now in the laundry room.
Yes. Another key point of maintaining too is when you're building these systems, make sure you're including everyone who lives in the house or who will be using the system. So even if it's in your office space at work, who all touches this system and will help keep it organized for everybody to use.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So it's really about managing not just the organization, but like when new things come in.
Yes, 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 yes. So
Mhm.
one great method to kind of help control that is the one in, one out method, which we've talked about before. But it's anytime you bring something new into the home, then one item goes out. So I think this rule is definitely works well in closets and shoes,
Yes.
things where it's like you have a set space, you do have a physical boundary, and those items aren't going to be changing a lot. So if you have a certain number of shirts, you're probably going to have about that same number of shirts. So you can easily go one in, one out.
I will say, like, I have a designated amount of hangers that I allow to live
Hmm.
in my closet. And if I have something coming into the closet that does not have a hanger, then something has to come out. And I've done that recently, trying to find some like more comfortable fitting clothes instead of what I used to wear a few years ago or things that have worn out.
Hmm.
I have only allowed myself a certain amount of hangers, and that's actually worked really well. You have to decide, is this thing I'm about to bring in my closet worth getting rid of, or discarding something that I've kept
Yes.
for all this time. And it does help you make decisions and be less impulsive and
Yes.
bringing new things into the home.
And things with like bookshelves. So, do I want to buy this new book if I haven't read, these 10 other books on my bookshelf? If I bring this one in, which book am I letting go of?
Yep.
Kids' toys. If I'm bringing in a new kids' toy, what toy is going out? So, that really helps keep it manageable
Hmm.
with the one in, one out. Another good method we talk about a lot is the 80/20 rule. So you only want to, like in your closet, you're only going to want to fill the closet about 80%, and you're going to want to leave 20% of flex space. Again, so if something new comes in, it's not going to feel completely overwhelming all at once.
Hmm.
If you have seasonal items, you can switch them out because, bulkier sweaters, jackets, vests are going to take up more space than your thinner cotton summer shirts. So just keeping that in mind and having that flexibility in mind. But I think this also really works well in your pantry
Hmm.
with your change of seasons and having like a seasonal um, bin for things that you're only going to be eating in the summertime or mainly in the wintertime.
And
So,
I think not only does that help you when, you do get an influx of new things, it can fit, but also it doesn't feel so overwhelming and like cluttered and
claustrophobic and
claustrophobic,
yeah.
and things are like piling up on top of each other and things. And so I think it, does help us to feel better by seeing this space that way, and it does
Hmm.
function better.
Another example, you're talking about things in my life. So, systems I've done before is I used to think, well, I'm going to maximize every single inch of space, like under my cabinets, right? Like under my bathroom counters. There's space back here, so I'm going to put a bin. And look, I can fit all this stuff in here. I'm not necessarily going to use it, but it's there. I have a space for it. It has a home. So, check mark, I did the thing and it looks great. Well, then 6 months later, I can't find things because it's in a bin,
Oh,
under a bin, in the back corner. And I'm not going to go look for it and dig. I'm going to go to the store and buy something, just replace it because convenience is king, as we have discussed,
convenience is
right?
king.
And
Hmm.
so, and even just stacking bins on top of each other, I have found I am more likely to put it down and not put it away if the system is too difficult. So if I have to take a lid off in order to put something in and then put the lid back on, I'm not going to do it immediately. Whereas if it's open a drawer, drop it in and go, so much faster.
I've
So
experienced that before too. Definitely.
so thinking, don't overcomplicate the systems and think of how your brain really works. So you don't have to go buy the bin that everybody says this is the bin that's going to save your linen closet. It's going to solve all your organizing needs. Like what works for you in your brain.
I
So,
like that. And again, what works for you, what works for your need, what works for your space. And just because you have the space, you don't
yes.
have to fill it.
100%. Yeah. And I'm a recovering maximalist, so I want to fill all that space. But since adapting these methods, my brain is calmer and can
Mm-hmm.
um, just see things more clearly
Mm-hmm.
with less visual clutter. So, and and that's not alone with me. Americans who've completed a decluttering project, 61.7% report feeling less stress afterwards, and 73% said their homes felt noticeably less cluttered and more organized. So that's also very encouraging.
Most people are going
Most,
to feel satisfied
yes.
and more peaceful in their homes.
Hmm.
And when we did our work with our clients with our book, we had wonderful people who let us practice the 7 steps to reframe and reclaim in their spaces. I will say I don't remember a single client who said, I wish I didn't do this,
Yes, agreed.
or I feel worse now that we've done this,
Mhm.
or that I don't like my space anymore. Like,
Right.
they loved their space, they felt accomplished, they were part
Mhm.
of the decision making, they didn't feel judged. They found new homes for their items with, donating to other organizations or other family members. And I think they feel more peace of mind in their space. A lot of our clients also had motivation to take on other spaces
Yes.
in their homes without us. We weren't there for the follow up projects. And we have clients who, we keep in touch with. They say, and now I'm on the next space, I'm on the next
Mhm.
drawer, closet, bedroom. And so they've learned these skills through the 7 steps, and they're actually feeling motivated from the outcome of their first space
Yes.
to continue it on their own, which I love that story. I love
Yes,
that.
and again, it goes to you get that instant gratification and you can instantly see how much better you feel
Hmm.
in the space. And so then you want everything to feel that way,
Of
right?
course.
And so I know
Everything.
and I know we've talked about a few methods. We talked about put it away, don't put it down, the one in, one out, and the 80-20. But now I want to talk about kind of what you can do daily and then monthly and quarterly to help you
Oh,
maintain
I
these
like
systems.
that. So not
So,
just the overall system, how to make it work, but what you can do incrementally. Let's
yes.
talk about it.
All right. So, one of the things you can do for your daily habits. Okay. So, there's kind of five key things.
Okay.
So, we talk about, life happens and mess is going to happen in your home. So
Yes.
taking just 5-10 minutes a night to reset your space, to make it
Mhm.
calm, put things away, finish doing the dishes, and make sure that things are going back where they need to go. You're also going to want to make sure that you empty your countertops and clean them every night. And then that is instantly going to make you feel better the next day in the morning. It's going to make your head feel lighter when you go to bed at night. And one of the keys to do this more quickly, as you'll see as you keep doing it every night, is the less stuff you have on the counters, the faster it's going to go.
Yes.
So, again, you don't want to overwhelm the space. And to what you're saying earlier, just because there is space doesn't mean you should put something there
Hmm.
or fill it. So, the less items you have on your countertops, the quicker it will be to clean them. And again, just doing it every night will make it quicker as well. You're going to want to go through your mail immediately.
Yes, I have created that habit for myself.
That is,
Feels so good.
yes. And again, it only takes like 5 minutes, if that
Less.
depending on how much
Mhm.
junk mail you get that day.
Yeah.
But if not, if you let it accumulate, then it turns into like this daunting 20-minute task of, where's the shredder and
Hmm.
got all these things to do.
Yes.
So resetting every evening, emptying countertops, handling your mail immediately, doing one load of laundry or folding, laundry that's been thrown to the side. I tried this on this morning. It didn't work out, but I'll wear it later. Or I wore it for an hour. I want to wear it again. Putting those items away. If you can, do a load of laundry a day, and that will help, even out your weekly workload.
Or
I,
just start with one load of laundry and then
mhm.
get to the next load later. Don't feel
Yeah,
like I have
exactly.
all of these clothes, all of these people are depending on clean clothes. Like, let's just throw one load in the washer and start it.
Yeah,
Even that can like feel like a task complete.
because let's be honest, for most Americans, you're not going to go running around naked because you don't have clothes, because you didn't do one load of laundry.
No, we have
Like
extra clothes
everybody
that
has
are
more
in
than enough
backup. Yeah.
clothing to
Yeah.
cover their daily needs.
Yes.
So maybe they'll finally wear that outfit. That
Let me tell you, you pull those things out of the closet and maybe you find something great that you like.
And then, last but not least, putting away, don't put it down, making sure you're immediately putting those items where they need to go. And again, this comes back to those systems. If it's easy for you to put it away, you will put it away immediately. If the system's too complicated, you're going to set it down and it's going to sit there and be a task for you to do at your evening reset.
And
So,
I will say, you think it may take like 15 more minutes to hang up this jacket instead
mhm,
of throw it over the chair. It probably takes 20 seconds. And
yes.
so the idea of like, I come in my house, I have my child's lunchbox. The first thing I do is open his lunchbox, unpack the food, put his, things away, put things in the dishwasher as needed. I think it takes me maybe a minute and 30
Mhm.
seconds. But for some people, like, oh, I've got to unpack the whole lunchbox. And you're like, well, if you really just do it, time yourself with something you maybe haven't done before.
Yes.
Instead of the put it down, put it away, that could be your shoes that you leave in the hallway. It could be, the car keys that you drop on the kitchen counter. How much extra time does it take for you to actually find a home for it rather
Yes.
than putting it down? And then maybe you will find there's less to keep up with, less to declutter, and then you get to have more time to like
Yes.
relax and
And
enjoy your home.
and just challenge yourself for a
Yeah,
day. For
one
one
day.
day, you're not going to put anything down. You're going to put it away. And at the end of the night, see how you feel, see if it saved you time, and see if you can go to sleep more relaxed because things have been taken care
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, I agree.
So, those are just 5 kind of daily habits that you can do. And then, of course, this is more about consistency than perfection. So, if you, let's say your timer goes off at 5 minutes and you didn't get it all done, that's okay. If you only have 5 minutes and you can't get it all done, the 5 minutes you did is going to be more helpful to you that evening than not doing it at all.
Yes.
And it's going to be more helpful for you the next day because you're going to have less to do the next day than not doing it. So,
Yeah, consistency. I like
yes,
that. If you have one day where you're just exhausted and we didn't get to these things, that's okay. The next day, get back on track. And so I do think that these are like little small habits that we can allow to accumulate over time that are going to lead into bigger lifelong skills.
yes. So those are kind of the daily, and then there's monthly kind of touch points as well. So monthly habits, I should say. So, along with that, I'm going to challenge you to donate at least one bag or one box of items a month. So, if you think of how many items come into your home a month, if you're practicing this one in, one out, you should be able to let go of one box or one bag of items per month.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
I think about my Amazon deliveries. I think
mm-hmm,
about my trips to the store and
yep,
my little kind of goodies I bring home. And again, this isn't like a shaming of if you
no,
brought something in, you should get rid of something, but this is a really good habit of I'm adding more to my home. Let's make sure I'm not overwhelming my home and
yes.
overwhelming my space.
I mean, it is very easy to see how we get 300,000 items in the average American home. Like,
Yes.
we're constantly bringing stuff in. So, just doing one bag a month
Yeah.
is an easy
Make it a
challenge.
small little bag and be like, look, I donated a bag, or make it a bigger bag the
Yes.
next month, or.
The second thing I'm going to challenge you with is pick one room a month that you want to focus on. And you're just going to be doing, 10 minutes of decluttering every day, or maybe it's 20 minutes each day on the weekends, just a little bit to get your momentum going. And I promise you, once you get started, you're going to put more time towards it. But I want you to, those problem areas that you keep putting off, that don't have systems, that you keep wanting to address and don't use this time
Mm-hmm.
to just touch point on this space. So it could be a garage, it could be a playroom, it could be a guest room, anywhere where you think you need some decluttering help.
All of my home.
All of your, but that's overwhelming, right? So pick one room
One
per
room.
month
Yeah.
and have that be your goal to declutter that space over the course of the month.
And I will say it's interesting when you start with one space and you're like, "Oh, this item doesn't belong in this space, it belongs in this other space."
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that one space you started with kind of settled and feeling good, then you're like, "Oh, those things in that other space I want to look at." And so I like this idea of focus on one space at a time
Mm-hmm.
because then you can see the progress
Yes.
and feel good about, a not perfect, but a less cluttered, more organized space. And then, if you're doing that and rotating throughout the
Mm-hmm.
year, then it doesn't feel as overwhelming
Yes.
and burdensome. We have these skill sets in place.
And then let's take like your living room, for example. Like, once you get that set and you know how it feels good for you to be a certain way, then you're not going to want to bring other items in, right? Or you're going to know this is the right balance. So then maybe
Yes.
if it's like you see a cute seasonal item at the store, you know it's in your space, you know it feels good. And then you can mentally ask yourself, do I want to bring this in and add another item? Or will I be taking an item out to replace this with? and then you can make sure that that balance is in check to where it still feels good to you and not overwhelming.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
The other thing I'm going to challenge you to do every month is doing a calendar declutter and reset. So at the end of every month, look at your calendar from the past month. If you weren't able to achieve the decluttering goals that you were wanting to achieve, why is that? Was your calendar too full? Did you apply the 80-20 rule to your calendar? Did you give yourself 20% flex space, to be able to do these other projects or to, you know, be able to go on a last minute trip that came up? So I challenge you to kind of look at your calendar. Where can you say no so you can say yes to the things that mean the most to you?
So this sounds like not just a physical space, but like mental space
Yes.
and time. How am I spending my
Yes.
time as well?
Because if you don't have the mental space or the time, how are you going to be able to address your physical space needs?
It all goes together
Yeah.
like a little spider web woven together. I will say I like the idea of this calendar declutter because I will say, especially as we're getting close to school starting and
Yes.
into the season of that, if you're a parent, like there's the school activities and then there's the homework and there's the extracurriculars and then there's the family time and then the holidays are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I tell clients all the time, and I use this advice the best I can as well. It's okay to say no to things that aren't as meaningful or as much of a priority for you, and making sure you do make the time for the things that are most
Right.
important. So, decluttering may not be top priority for you. That's okay.
Exactly.
But these are just ideas on how to, if you're ready to start
Mm-hmm.
decluttering, these are really great tips. But also decluttering your calendar of of piano and soccer and basketball and PTA and the women's club and then the church thing and then the community thing and then the volunteer thing. I can probably assure you, you will be exhausted and probably not want to spend time with people or your home, and your home may become overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is very much like you said, if we're not addressing our time and making sure our time is spent well with things that are meaningful,
Right.
then maybe that's time clutter.
Yeah. And going along with what you were saying, so let's say you do have a really packed schedule, but you like it that way, and you want to declutter your house, but this is really where things are. Then you have the choice to say, well, I'm okay with my home being more cluttered for this chapter of life, and I can get to it later, or I'm going to try and bring less things in to not add to the continuing clutter problem. Or I really want this to be a priority, so I'm setting aside this time. And again, there's no wrong answer. It's
No.
where you are in your life, but just being confident in your answers and knowing this, there's only so much time in the day, right?
Well, and I do think it is this thing of, not to shame anybody for being busy, but
Yes.
if it's not meaningful for you, if it's
Yes.
something that you don't find meaning and feeling good about doing, then maybe we should reevaluate what we're doing with that. And if you're not feeling good in your home, maybe we should reevaluate how your home is functioning or
Hmm.
feeling. This is really about what every individual needs in their life and how to make sure that you're living a life that feels good and is successful for you.
Yes. And then on top of that, so we talked about the daily, the monthly, and now quarterly.
Ooh.
So every quarterly, this is really kind of change of seasons. So this is really going to be your closet, switching out clothes whenever the change of seasons happen. During these times, I recommend it year round, but especially at these times, have a donation box in your closet.
Mhm.
So that way, as the change of season goes, you can say, I had my summer clothes out. I didn't wear this. Why didn't I wear it? Do I not feel good in it? Does the color not match me anymore? Like, what is it? And then be able to say, well, I'm going to keep it or I'm going to donate or discard it. Right. And then bringing in your new gear, because I've always had, even when I bring in my winter clothes into the closet, even though at the end of last winter, I was like, no, I want to keep this, I want to try and wear this one more time. At the
It's
beginning of the season, I might
been
take it
in
out and be like,
season.
no,
Just
no.
changed my mind.
Yep.
And
So
that's
checking
okay.
in beginning and end of each season,
Yeah.
clothing, as well as in your pantry. Again, earlier I spoke about the seasonal bin in your pantry to go for those fluctuations of foods from different times of year. Because I know, like for me, I do s'mores in the summertime, I don't do them in the wintertime, but I do more soups. I do more heartier foods and
Mhm.
more chicken broth. And so having that flex space has really been helpful.
Wonderful. I love that.
So remember, these systems and maintaining, it's really about creating a system and a space that supports your life. This needs to be tailored to you and your family and how you use the space and what functions for you. So make it easy, make your systems easy, make sure it's communicated to everyone in order to maintain it. Do the one in, one out rule so that way you're never bringing more in than what's going out. And going along with that, donating a bag a month. It's a real easy challenge. Making sure you're giving at least 20% flex space within your spaces so that way, if you do have an influx of items, you're not feeling overwhelmed and then that system has collapsed because there's just no room for anything else,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
just making sure you're having that flexibility and making a system that works for you.
I love
So,
that. And again, with reframe and reclaim, we are, letting clients really reflect on how their home functions, what's important to them. And if you have not gotten the book, it is available online with online retailers. It is available in some bookstores. And then we also have services that we have. If you are needing some support on how to evaluate or where to start. We also have virtual consultations. If you're in and around Texas, we have in home consultations. So we're really excited to be able to have all of these support systems for you with Reframe and Reclaim. And this is for what works for you, not what works for your friend or your family
mhm,
member. And it's okay to be different than that.
yes. Yeah, it's all depending on how your brain works because you don't want to have friends that are all the same as you, right? You gotta have things a little different, makes it a little spicy. So thanks for tuning in today. We challenge you to, pick one of these habits to start and implement in your home today. Let us know in the comments what you choose to do. Share this with a friend who could hear it and like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.